Welcome to SVG-TV News and Sports for Tuesday, January 28th, 2014. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. More relief supplies continue to come in for persons affected by the December 2013 disaster. Earlier today, a 20-foot container of supplies was handed over to the National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO. Minister of National Mobilization Frederick Stevenson handed over the container to NEMO on behalf of Kelly Shipping Agency in England through Harvey Job and Vaughan Care.
The result of the information reaching the friends in England, Mr. Vaughan Care contacted me and asked what he thinks that they in England can do to assist the persons here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I said to him that there's severe devastation, and every and anything that they can will go a long way in assisting the persons affected. And so I asked him to get in contact with High Commissioner Senior Lewis in London, and Senior Lewis, I believe, would have contacted the Geese line, the Geese shipping line that comes to St. Vincent and the Grenadines that takes our produce out from St. Vincent to England, and they got on board and assisted in transporting this container from England to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. As I said before, I know that there would be some food supplies, some clothing. There's also, I believe, water in this container. When it is unstuffed, we would see more of what is in the container.
Director of NEMO Howie Prince expressed thanks to all the persons who assisted with the shipment of the container of supplies, which he said are much needed at this time.
So Geese and Couriers for collaborating on this. This is one of a few containers that we expect to receive out of the United Kingdom, which will go towards the humanitarian aspect of this disaster. We are remembering that we anticipate that we'll have to feed and provide comfort for people up to 6 months following this particular event. So we're still in it for another 5 or more months. It's not going to be an easy one. It's quite an expensive task to feed, first of all, 175 persons and an additional 300 families at the community level. In addition to that, when we meet elderly and shut-in who request some assistance, it's difficult to say no. I can't look at an old lady who comes to me and said, I don't have a single thing to eat, and I know that there's food in the house, and don't give her a little bit. So there are different persons who may receive in addition to those who are affected.
Meantime, NEMO also received a donation from the SVG Cocoa Company of 5,000 EC dollars and 1,000 from the SVG Dove Club. General Manager of the SVG Cocoa Company, Andrew Hadley, and Chairperson of the Dove Club, Lonnie Robinson, said that they are happy to provide assistance to the relief efforts here.
Effort to help the relief of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, help the poor and the vulnerable. We hope this money can go a long way and to helping St. Vincent recover from this horrible disaster.
Go towards the relief effort of the December 24th trough system that affected the island.
And tomorrow, the government will continue to hand out fridges and stoves to persons in the North Leeward area who are affected by the floods. This distribution will be done at the Spring Village Primary School. And the SVG Fire Department earlier today received a set of fire gears by CK Graves, sourced from Ajax Fire of Canada. Representative of CK Graves, Clyde Moffat, said the donation is part of the company's corporate social responsibility and that the managers were happy to have Ajax Fire on board.
We might have seen where our policemen, firefighters are basically at risk, where they don't have enough fighting equipment to basically deal with the fires that we have to deal with on a daily basis or regular basis. So through our CEO, Mr. Nigel Graves, we were able to make some connections with Mr. Bonady from the Ajax Firefighting Department in Canada. And here we are today, grateful for the assistance that they have been able to afford us in sending these equipment over to us.
Captain of Ajax Fire Don Carrera said the fire gears are still in good condition, though they have been used before.
The standard changes in Canada and the States, the suits are obsolete for us, and for that reason we thought instead of having the suits thrown out, they were perfectly good, and we thought we'd have them sent here. The other officer here, Officer Bonity, he's from the island itself, and through his family who's been here for numerous years, found more need for it to be sent here than any other island in the Caribbean.
Governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, the ECCB, Sir Dwight Venner, will this evening present the 2013 Economic Review. During the session, Sir Venner will report and host a discussion on the performance of the economy of the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union, the ECCU, in 2013 and the initiatives that have been taken to spur and sustain growth in the ECCU. The Governor's presentation will focus on economic developments in 2013, the main challenges and accomplishments of the currency union over the year, and the top priorities for the ECCU over the next 3 years. The 2013 ECCU Economic Review presentation and discussion will be broadcast simultaneously on radio and television stations in the 8 ECCC member countries, including here at home from 8 to 10 p.m. on SVG-TV and several local radio stations. The first half of 2014 will see a series of activities being held here as part of the 50th anniversary celebrations of the Bishop's College, Kingstown. The celebration activities to make this milestone got started yesterday with a Thanksgiving service at the St. George's Cathedral in Kingstown. Jamisha Wright was there and files this report.
It was a moment of celebration and reuniting for past and present students of the Bishop's College, Kingstown, the BCK. Principal of the school, Cecilia Akers King, says since the establishment of the institution in 1964, many Vincentians have and continue to benefit from the teaching of the BCK.
At that time, approximately 180 students, drawn mainly from among those who had failed to gain acceptance in the government secondary schools, became the first intake. There were 6 forms. The Reverend Overton Jakes was the first principal with 6 members of staff. 8 principals have since served the school. They are Mr. B. Armstrong and R. D. Young of Canada, Father Lawrence Streeton of the United Kingdom, Mr. Lennox John, Mrs. Joy Cato, Mrs. Samantha Rouse, and 3 other acting principals, Mr. Paul Vanler, Mrs. Pamela Anderson, and
Akers King says the Bishop's College is committed towards being the #1 co-ed school and the school of choice in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
We will continue to help to guide our students academically, morally, socially, while pointing them to life's greatest reward, that of living a life of purpose.
And a parliamentary representative for Central Kingstown, which the school is located, was also on hand to celebrate with the institution on such a significant accomplishment.
I wish to heartily congratulate Bishop's College on standing performance and to express further a heartfelt thank you for the contribution they have made over the years to the development of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Meanwhile, Minister of Youth Frederick Stevenson congratulated the BCK on its development over the years.
I just want to once again to say to you, I wish for you all the very best as you celebrate these 50 years. And it is my hope that your activities for the rest of the year up to, I believe, July would go very well, and that at all times as a church school we would keep God at the center of all we do.
The ceremony also heard a number of tributes in song to the school. Reporting for SVGTV News, I am Jamisha Wright.
The Scouts Association of SVG is getting ready to commemorate its 100th year of existence on April 17, 2014. To celebrate this historic milestone, the association will be staging a number of activities. President Morrison Baisden, at a media conference earlier today, reflected on the growth of the association since it was established in 1914.
It was an outdoor organization. Hikes in the forest, camping out, tents, wood fires, outdoor cooking, survival, with minimum technology, ropes, knives and staves, generally it was. You had to learn to do first aid so you could take care of any injuries that happened out in the forest. You had to be able to communicate with flags because there would be no telephones out there.
Meanwhile, Second Vice President Bernard John outlined some of the activities the association will be holding as part of the anniversary celebrations, which he said includes a campfire, a church service, and the annual general meeting.
We'll be participating in the activities, the celebrations to mark National Heroes Day, and you know there's an event that takes place at the obelisk at Dorsetshire Hill. Will be there in our numbers.
SVG's CARICOM Youth Ambassador Kishore Shallow recently attended a regional youth forum held at the CARICOM Secretariat in Georgetown, Guyana. While there, he participated in a two-day seminar on the CARICOM Youth Development Action Plan, the CDAP, which is being developed to guide national policy, integrated planning and action regarding youth. The objectives of the Regional Youth Forum were to develop youth as well as environmentally friendly educational material and a toolkit to support stakeholders in the development and implementation of CDAP. Additionally, the forum sought to develop youth-friendly and gender-responsive marketing strategies and communication material to promote the CDAP. Ambassador Shallow said the engagement of the youth in development planning must be part of the recipe for a successful region in the future. The truck accident, which claimed the lives of 3 on Sunday, may have resulted from brakes failure. Nigel Peters of Richland Park was the driver of the truck, TE214, which ran off the Maroon Hill Road in Greggs and went over an embankment. Peters is also one of the 3 survivors of the tragic accident who are currently patients at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital. Peters said he was still in pain and more so saddened by the death of the 3 men, Leopold Pinto Grant, Clos Phillips and Alwyn Crazy Toby. Peters said he remembers floating through the air as the truck sailed off the embankment. He said just moments before he realized that his brakes had failed and the truck picked up speed coming off the last turn. The men were said to be on their second trip to Georgetown to collect Rabuka sand for Specs Construction owned by Eldon Samuel. Peters added that the brakes failure was out of his hands as he made several attempts to gear down before coming to the deadly stop. The police are investigating a motor vehicle accident involving P4296, a car owned and driven by Sophia Blucher of Dixon, and pedestrian Lamont George, 14 years old, of Diamonds, which occurred along the Connery Public Road yesterday. A police report said George sustained injuries about his body and is a patient at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital.